Stoicheia here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days! Alrighty, let's get started. Pressing the A button now.
Vanguard Deer Days.
Loading game and proceeding. Here we are in the main menu, going to edit deck menu. And now in today's video, the deck profile I'm going to be making one for is a Stoicheia's Blue Storm Dragon Maelstrom D-BT08. Okie dokie, let's begin. Going to selecting the deck, entering edit deck, and off we go. Here we are in the edit deck menu, and like just mentioned before, the deck I'm building in today's deck profile video is a Stoicheia's Blue Storm Dragon Maelstrom deck, made up of cards only available up until D-BT08. And affirmative, let's get started. So going to filter settings and to pack, show only cards from D-BT1, Genesis of the 5 Greats, D-BT2, Brush of the Legends, D-BT3, Advance of Intertwined Star, D-BT4, Awakening of Chakrabarti, D-BT5, Triumphant Return of Brave Heroes, Festival Collection 2021, Festival Collection 2022, Pro Pack number 1, D-BT6, Blazing Dragon Reborn, D-BT7, Raging Flame against Emerald Storm, and D-BT8, Minerva Rising. Applying filter, filters apply, let's begin. First up, the Grade 3 lineup. And now for the Grade 3 lineup. For the Grade 3s in this deck, we are playing Right Deck, Grade 3, Blue Storm Dragon Maelstrom. Skills, first skill, action as a Vanguard, once per turn. Cost, discard a card from hand. If the cost is paid, choose a unit card with only Aqua Force for its clan or a tier dragon from Soul, call it a rear guard, and it gets skill auto as a rear guard when this unit attacks. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, and if it is the first battle of the turn, cost, counterblast 1. If the cost is paid, stand this unit until end of turn. At the end of turn, put into your soul. Second skill, auto as a Vanguard. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if it is the 4th battle of this turn or more, draw a card and choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. So for Maelstrom, it's the main grade 3 to ride in this deck. Its skill is the first skill. By paying the cost, you can then superior call either an Aqua Force card or a tier dragon race card from your soul to the rear guard, and the called card gets a skill. When the conditions of the skill are met and you pay the cost, you can restand it for another attack. Then at the end of the turn, it returns to your soul. And the second skill, when the conditions of the second skill are met, you can not only draw more cards to restock your hand with, but you can also wipe out your opponent's rear guards, giving you a better advantage. Alrighty, the Grade 3, Blue Storm Dragon Maelstrom. We have 4 in the deck, 1 in the right deck, 3 in the main deck. Up next, the Grade 3, Blue Artillery Dragon, Inlet Pulse Dragon. Skills, first skill, auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit attacks a Grade 3 or greater Vanguard. If it is the first battle of this turn, and your Vanguard is Flagship Dragon, Flight for Dragon, cost, Soul Blast 1. If the cost is paid, stand this unit. Second skill, auto as a rear guard. At the end of your turn, if the total number of attacks this turn is 4 or more, cost, put this unit into your soul. If the cost is paid, draw a card. So for Inlet Pulse Dragon, a pretty good card to play in your Stoicheia Nation decks if it skills the first skill. Since this first skill is mainly meant to be used with the Flagport Dragon, we're just skipping ahead to the second skill. The second skill, when the conditions of the second skill are met, not only do you get to build up your soul for later Soul Blast, but you can also redraw more cards to restock your hand with. And okie dokie, the Grade 3, Blue Artillery Dragon, Inlet Pulse Dragon. We have 4 in the deck. And next, the Grade 3, Normal Set Order, Blue Storm Armada, Storm of Judgment. Skills for skill, order. After a set order is played, put into your order zone. Play this if you have a Vanguard with Wellstrut in its card name. Second skill, auto. When this card is put into the order zone, activate all of the effects below. First effect, choose up to 1 unit card with only Aqua Force for its clan or a tier dragon from their drop and call it a rear guard. Second effect, choose one of your other rear guards. It gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn for each other Storm of Judgment in your order zone. So for Storm of Judgment, it's an order card meant to be played with the Maelstrom deck. With skills, the second skill, when deployed to the order zone, you can choose to activate all of the effects available this order provides. You can not only superior call a Aqua Force or tier dragon from your drop zone to the rear guard to serve as a potential front row attacker, back row booster, or a rear guard whose skill you wish to take advantage of later in the game, but also you can give that called rear guard or any other rear guard in your field a huge boost of power depending on how many Storm of Judgments you stack in your order zone. And affirmative, the grade 3 set order, Storm of Judgment, we have 3 in the deck. And next, the grade 3, normal order, Gradia Gradel. Skills, first skill, continuous, Regulus piece. You may only have 1 Regulus piece in your deck and use it a total of 1 time in a fight. Second skill, order. Plays if you have a grade 3 Vanguard of Persona Ride, and if you do not ride this turn, activate Persona Ride, draw a card. All of your front row units gets plus 10,000 power this turn, and you are regarded to Persona Road. So for Gradia Gradel, a pretty good order card to play in any deck in the D standard format. If it's skill, the second skill. When the conditions of the second skill are met, you play this card. You can activate the Persona Ride effect, which is to draw more cards to restock your hand with. Give your front row, Vanguard and rear guard included, a huge boost of power. And then any skills that require you to have Persona Road that turn, this order card can then substitute for that effect. And confirm, the grade 3 Gradia Gradel, we have 1 in the deck. And at that, we just about covered the deck's grade 3 lineup. Next, let's get on to the deck's grade 2 lineup. And now for the grade 2 lineup. For the grade 2s in this deck, we are playing Right Deck, grade 2, Marine General of Restless Tides, Algos. Skills, first skill, auto. When this unit is rolled upon by a unit with only Aquaforce for its clan, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 unit card of Aquaforce for its clan, or a tier dragon from among them, call it to rear guard and shuffle your deck. Second skill, auto as a rear guard. When this unit attacks, if it is the 4th battle of this turn or more, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard Maelstrom in its card name, until end of battle, it gets plus 5,000 power, and a skill, auto as a rear guard. When this unit attacks hits a Vanguard, draw a card. So for Algos, it's the main grade 2 to ride in this deck. Its skills, the first skill, when ridden on top of by an Aquaforce card, you have the chance to check the top 7 cards of your deck for an Aquaforce or a tier dragon to cause the rear guard, to serve as a potential front row attacker, bat row booster, or a rear guard whose skill you wish to take advantage of later in the game. Second skill, when it attacks while the conditions of its skill are met, you can turn your Algos into a potential 15,000 point attacker, and getting a skill if the conditions are met. You can also draw more cards to restock your hand with. And alrighty, the grade 2, Marine General of Restless Tides, Algos, we have 4 in the deck, 1 in the right deck, 3 in the main deck. Next up, the grade 2, Tidal Assault. Skills, for skill, auto as a rear guard. When this unit attacks, cost, Soul Blast 1. If the cost is paid, choose one of your Vanguards of Maelstrom in its card name, and it gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn. Second skill, auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle this unit attacked, if it is the 2nd battle of this turn or more, if you have a standing Vanguard of Maelstrom in its card name, cost, Counterblast 1. If the cost is paid, stand as unit. So for Tidal Assault, a support card for the Maelstrom deck with its skills, the first skill, when attacking, by paying the cost, you can give your Vanguard Maelstrom a little extra power to work with. And the second skill, after attacking, while the conditions of the skill are met and you pay the cost, you can restand Tidal Assault to pressure your opponent with another attack. And okie dokie, the grade 2 Tidal Assault, we have 4 in the deck. And at that, we just about covered the deck's grade 2 lineup. Next, let's get on to the grade 1 lineup. And now for the grade 1 lineup. For the grade 1s in this deck, we are playing Ride Deck, grade 1, Tier Knight Theo. Skills, for skill, auto. When this unit is rolled upon by a unit with only Aquaforce for its clan, search your deck for up to 1 Blue Storm Armada card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. Second skill, continuous as a rear guard. During your turn, if a Vanguard with Maelstrom in its card name, this unit gets plus 5,000 power. So for Tio, it's the main great one to ride in this deck. Its skills, the first skill, when ridden on top of by an Aquaforce card, you can search your deck for the set order, Blue Storm Armada, to add it to your hand to help in your later game strategy. Second skill, when the conditions of the second skill are met, your rearguard Theo then can serve as a potential 13,000 point attacker for your front row or 13,000 point booster for the back row. And alright, the great one, Tier Knight Theo, we have 1 in the right deck. Next up, the Great 1, Planet Prevent Dragon, Sentinel, Perfect Guard. Skills, for skill, Continuous Sentinel. You may only have up to 4 cards of Continuous Sentinel in the deck. Second skill, Auto. When this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, choose one of your units, and it cannot be hit until end of battle. If your hand has 2 or more cards, choose a card from hand and discard it. So for Planet Prevent, a Perfect Guard for the Stoicheia Nation. Like any other Perfect Guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation, which is, when used to guard with, discard a card from hand, you can block an enemy attack. But it also features an ability unique to it alone, which is, when used to guard with, while you have less than 2 cards in hand, you will not have to pay the usual discard 1 cost, making Planet Prevent a potential no-cost Perfect Guard in desperate last resort situations. And affirmative, the Great 1, Planet Prevent Dragon, we have 3 in the deck. Next up, the Great 1, Blitz Order, Elementaris Sanitude. Skills. First skill, Continuous Sentinel. You may only have up to 4 cards of Continuous Sentinel in the deck. Second skill, Continuous. You may only have 1 Elementary Sanitude in the deck. Third skill, Order. If your opponent's Vanguard has triple drive, this ability can be played without paying the cost. Plays if it costs of, discard a card from hand if your Vanguard is grade 3 or less. If the cost is paid, choose one of your units. It cannot be hit until end of battle. Remove this card. So for Elementary Sanitude, it's the Blitz Order version of the Perfect Guard. Like any other Perfect Guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation, which is, when played, discard a card from hand, you can block an enemy attack. But ideally, Elementary Sanitude works best against opponents who play decks that specialize in having a Vanguard triple drive. For example, grade 4s, G units, or Vanguards who have their drive checks increased by skill or card effect. Against such opponents, Elementary Sanitude then can serve as a potential no-cost Perfect Guard. And oh right, the Great One, Elementary Sanitude. We have 1 in the deck. And next up, the Great One, Prize Trident. Skill, auto as a rear guard. When your other unit attacks, if it is the 5th battle this turn, cost, put this unit into your soul. If the cost is paid, countercharge 1. So for Prize Trident, a pretty good Great One to play in your Maelstrom deck with skill. When the conditions of the skill are met, and by paying the cost, not only do you get to build up your soul for later soul blasting, you can also refund your counterblast for later skills. And okay, the Great One, Prize Trident, we have 4 in the deck. And next, the Great One, Wheel Assault. Skill, auto as a rear guard. At the end of battle, this can boost it. If you have a Vanguard of Maelstrom in its card name, cost, Soul Blast 1. If the cost is paid, choose 2 of your rear guards and swap their positions. So for Wheel Assault, a support card for the Maelstrom deck with its skill, after boosting, while the conditions of its skill are met and you pay the cost, you can swap the positions of any of your rear guards, giving you the chance to reorganize your formation to give you either to have more attacks or to take advantage of the skills that Maelstrom and any other cards you have in your deck can offer you. And affirmative, the Great One, Wheel Assault, we have 4 in the deck. And with that, we just about covered the deck's Great One lineup. Next, let's get on to the deck's Grade 0 lineup. And now, for the Grade 0 lineup. For the Grade 0s in this deck, we are playing Ride Deck, Grade 0, Officer Cadet Eric. Skill, auto. When this unit is rolled upon, if you went second, draw a card. So for Eric, the starting unit of this deck, like any other starting unit in the D standard format, it features the same skill and activation, which is, when written on top of, if you're the second to go in the game, you can draw more cards. Alright, the Grade 0, Officer Cadet Eric, we have 1 in the Ride Deck. And with that, we just about covered the deck's Grade 0 lineup. Next, let's get on to the Trigger lineup. And now, for the Trigger lineup. For the triggers in this deck, we are playing Grade 0, Source Dragon D-BT Blessings, Bless Favor, Over Trigger. Skill, trigger, additional effect, draw a card, choose one of your units, it gets +1 critical until end of turn. All of your front row units gets plus 10,000 power. If your damage zone has the same number of cards as your opponents or more, choose a card from your damage zone and heal it. So for Bless Favor, it's the over trigger for the Stoicheia Nation. Like any other over trigger in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation, which is, when revealed during a drive check or damage check, you get 100 million power and get to draw 1 card. But it also features an ability unique to it alone, which is, when revealed during a drive check on your turn, you can activate all of the effects. Draw a card, give a unit on your field +1 critical, your entire front row, Vanguard and Rearguard included, get plus 10,000 power, and if the conditions are met, you can also heal 1 damage. More or less making this over trigger more or less a combination of all 4 of the triggers available in the D standard format: draw trigger, critical trigger, front trigger, and heal trigger all in one. Alright, the Grade 0, Source Dragon D-BT Blessings, Bless Favor, over trigger, we have 1 in the deck. Next, the Grade 0, Dual Pressure Dragon, critical trigger, we have 3 in the deck. Next, the Grade 0, Aspiring Maiden, Alana, critical trigger, skill, auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted, cost, put this unit into your soul. If the cost is paid, choose one of your units, and it's got plus 2,000 power until end of turn. So for Alana, a powerful critical trigger to play in your Stoicheia Nation decks for skill, after boosting, regardless if the attack hits or not, as long as you don't mind moving Alana from your rear guard into your soul, not only do you get to build up your soul for later soul blasting, but you can also give a remaining attacker in the field, Vanguard or rear guard, a little extra power to work with. And affirmative, the Grade 0, Aspiring Maiden, Alana, critical trigger, we have 4 in the deck. Next, the Grade 0, Serene Maiden, Lena, draw trigger, skill, continuous as a guardian. If your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield. So for Lina, a powerful draw trigger to play in your Stoicheia Nation decks if her skill, when used to guard with, while the conditions of her skill are met, Lina then can serve as a potential 10,000 point shield on her own. Confirm, the Great Zero, Story Maiden Lina, draw trigger, we have 4 in the deck. Next up, the Great Zero, Zysofolia Fairy, Asher, heal trigger, skill, auto, when this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle, if your opponent's attacking unit has attacked 2 or more times this turn, this unit gets plus 15,000 shield until end of battle. Active if this battle is its second attack this turn or more. So for Asher, a powerful heal trigger to play in your Stoicheia Nation decks if its skill, when used to guard with, while the conditions of the skill are met, Asher then can serve as a potential 25,000 point shield on his own. Ideally, Asher is a counter heal, best played against opponents who play decks that specialize in restanding and attacking multiple times with their units, Vanguard or Rearguard. And alrighty, the Great Zeros, Zysofolia Fairy, Asher, heal trigger, we have 2 in the deck. Up next, the Great Zero, Alchemic Hedgehog, heal trigger, skill, auto, when this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, if the attacking unit's critical is 2 or greater, and its critical is increased by a non-trigger effect ability, or its original critical is 2 or greater, this unit gets plus 15,000 shield until end of battle. So for Alchemic Hedgehog, another powerful heal trigger to play in your Stoicheia Nation decks if its skill, when used to guard with, while the conditions of the skill are met, Alchemic Hedgehog then can serve as a potential 25,000 point shield on his own. Ideally, Alchemic Hedgehog is a counter heal, best played against opponents who play decks that specialize in increasing their attacking unit's critical, Vanguard or Rearguard by skill or card effect. And okay, the Great Zero, Alchemic Hedgehog, heal trigger, we have 2 in the deck. And at that, we just about covered the deck's trigger lineup. And here we are, back in the edit deck menu. With that, the deck's been built, card effects explained. For the cards in this deck, we are playing 4 Grade 3, Blue Artillery Dragon, Inlet Pulse Dragon, 4 Grade 3, Blue Storm Dragon, Maelstrom, 3 Grade 3, Storm of Judgment, 1 Grade 3, Gradia Gredel, 4 Grade 2, Tidal Assault, 4 Grade 2, Marine General of Restless Tides, Algos, 3 Grade 1, Planet Prevent Dragon, 1 Grade 1, Elementaris Sanitude, 4 Grade 1, Prize Trident, 4 Grade 1, Wheel Assault, 1 Grade 1, Tier Knight Theo, 1 Grade 0, Officer Cadet Eric, starting unit. And for the triggers in this deck, we are playing 1 Over Trigger, Bless Favor, 7 critical triggers, 4 draw triggers, and 4 heal triggers. With that, the deck's been built. And next, we just have to choose these sleeves in this deck. For the sleeves, we're going to be using, for the main deck sleeves, is the Stoicheia Nation flag sleeves for the main deck sleeves, and for the right deck sleeves, we're just going to use this green Vanguard circle sleeve as the right deck sleeve. There we go. Okie dokie. Deck built, card effects explained, card sleeves changed. Now let's get started testing out the deck. And here we are, back in the main menu. Going to test out the deck, so going to Fight menu, selecting CPU Fight, choosing the deck I just showcased to you, the Stoicheias, Blue Storm Dragon, Maelstrom, D-BT08 deck, selecting the deck, and choosing my opponent. I'm gonna test this deck out on who would be a good choice. How about Masaru Kita, normal difficulty, and click. The battle begins, let's get started. And here we are in the fight. We're going to decide who goes first, so rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock to rock one more time. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock to paper, I lose going second. Drawing our starting hands, I got myself a Algos, Tidal Assault, Critical Trigger, Storm of Judgment, and a Planet Prevent. Let's see. According to my ride line, I can, after riding on top of Theo, I can add it back at the Blue Storm Armada set order to my hand, so should I redraw the set order or have a second copy ready to help in my strategy? I think I'm just gonna redraw the trigger, hold on to all normal units and order cards. Redraw. Yes, prize trident. And we begin. My opponent goes first. He rides the Great One, Deep Sonicer. Skill of Sonicer, he soul charges. Yes, critical trigger out of the deck. One less card to worry about. My turn. Draw. I ride from the right deck. Tier Knight Theo. Right deck cost, I am discarding. I have 2 copies of Algos, discarding the extra copy, and ride Theo. Skill of Eric. Draw 1 card. Draw. Then I'm calling Wheel Assault to the back row. And Prize Trident to the back row. Nope, to the front row. Call. That ought to do it. Going to battle phase. Prize Trident attacks the Vanguard. 8k. The attack goes through. And Pierce. 1 damage. Damage check. No trigger. Safe. Now boosted by Wheel Assault, my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard. 16k. The attack goes through. Drive check. No trigger. Blue Star Armada, order card, so 1 damage. Boom! Damage check. No trigger, safe. That's the end of my turn. My opponent's turn. He rides the Great One, Electro Spartan. Battle phase, Vanguard to Vanguard, 10k. No guard, gonna take it. Drive check. Draw trigger, lucky. He can draw more cards to restock his hand now. 1 damage to me. Ow! Damage check. No trigger. Wheel Assault. End of my opponent's turn. My turn. Stand and draw. I ride from the right deck. Algos. Right deck cost. Discarding. Inlet Pulse. Since the order card lets me superior call a tier dragon from the drop zone, I can just call Inlet Pulse from the drop zone my next turn. Ride the Great Tooth Algos. Skill Theo. Search my deck for Blue Storm Armada. Adding it to hand. And then I'm going to call Algos to the rear guard. Should I call it here or here? Better play it safe, just call it as a booster, switching places, and going to battle phase. Boosted by Wheel Assault, my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard. 18k. The attack goes through. Drive check. No trigger. Tidal Assault. 1 damage. And bang bang bang. Damage check. No trigger. Perfect guard. Safe. 1 less card to worry about. Boosted by Trident. My rear guard Algos attacks the Vanguard. 18k. He guards with a critical trigger. 25k. Attack blocked. And the attack fails. So end of my turn. My opponent's turn. My opponent rides the Grade 2, the Grade 3, Master of Gravity, Barrel Madness. Skill of Spartan. He soul charges. Yes, another critical out of the deck. Lucky me. Activating order card, Supernatural Extraction. He soul charges 3 cards. He soul charges 1, 2, and 3. Yes, critical and heal out of the deck. Then he calls to the rear guard, Curtis. Curtis lets me soul charge. He soul charges. Yes, another heal out of the deck. Using his Vanguard, skill of Bear Madness. With 10 or more cards in the soul, he can draw a card and get powered and critical. That's gonna be rough for me. Perfect guard with Plan Prevent Dragon. Perfect guard cost, I am discarding. I already have 3 copies of Storm of Judgment. Discard the 3rd copy, hold on to 2, discard, and Perfect Guard activate. Twin Drive, first check. No trigger, Grade 3, Curtis, and second check. Heal trigger, lucky him. He heals 1 point of damage and gives power to Curtis. Ka-chink! And now here comes Curtis with 23k. No guard, can I take it?
No guard.
Ow! Damage check. Critical trigger, wasted a trigger, come on! Trigger effect wasted, and this is rough. End of my opponent's turn, my turn. Stand and draw. I ride from the right deck, Blue Storm Dragon, Maelstrom. Right deck cost, discarding, critical trigger, dual pressure, discard, and ride Maelstrom. Skill of Algos. Check the top cards of my deck for an Aqua Force or a Tier Dragon. I call... Inlet Pulse Dragon. Call. And then I am going to activate the order card, Storm of Judgment. Set to the order zone. Skill, Superior Call in Aqua Force or a Tier Dragon. I'm calling... Inlet Pulse to the rear guard, calling, and then giving power, but no power is added. And next I am going to activate the effect of Maelstrom. Hold on, nope. Or instead I can just Yep, I'm going to call Tidal Assault over Algos. Call. That ought to be enough. Going to battle phase. First, let's see, Tidal Assault activates its skill after the second attack, so my Inlet Pulse attacks the rear guard. Curtis, 13k to 13k. The attack goes through, and bang bang bang. Now Tidal Assault attacks the Vanguard. Unboosted, skill of Tidal Assault, Soul Blast 1. Soul Blast, plus 5,000 power to the Vanguard. No guard, and skill of Tidal Assault after attacking, restand. Now boosted by Wheel Assault. Hold on, Yep, boosted by Prize Trident. Tidal Assault attacks the Vanguard, 18k. Not activating the skill this time. He guards with a heal trigger. And the attack fails. Now boosted by Wheel Assault, Maelstrom attacks the Vanguard. Since it is the fourth attack this turn, I can retire a rear guard and draw a card. Maelstrom wipes out his back row rear guard, and I draw a card. I drew an Inlet Pulse. Twin Drive, first check. Yes, draw trigger, just what I needed. I give power to the back row Inlet Pulse. I drew a, not a heal trigger. Second check. No trigger, Wheel Assault. 1 damage to opponent, and boom! Damage check. Critical trigger, lucky him. Trigger effects added, but I can still keep going. Activating my Wheel Assault skill, Soul Blast 1. Soul Blast. I switch the positions of Inlet Pulse and Tidal Assault. Switch. Inlet Pulse attacks the Vanguard, 23k. Not activating Prize Trident skill. The attack goes through. Bang, bang, bang. 1 more damage. Damage check. Oh, come on. A heal trigger. My damage is negated. So lucky. End of turn. Inlet Pulse's skill. Into Soul. Draw 1 card. Draw. Oh, come on. Not another heal trigger. Why do I keep drawing out my triggers like this? Fine, 1 more time of Inlet Pulse. Don't give me a trigger, give me a normal unit. Yes, Prize Trident. And he's Persona riding, Barrow Magnus. And he's calling Selfish Engraver and Spartan to the rear guard. Spartan skill, he soul charges 2 more cards. And now he's going to battle phase. Spartan to Vanguard. I am going to let the attack go through, no guard. Ow! Damage check. No trigger. Come on, not a Persona ride. Seriously? Vanguard to Vanguard. Skill of his Vanguard. He's going to Counterblast. And with 14 cards in Soul, he draws a card and adds power and critical to Vanguard. That is not good for me, so I'm just gonna protect myself with the heal trigger, Alchemic Headshot, guard, skill of Headshot, plus 15,000 shield. Shield added, and then guarding with the draw trigger, Lena, guard of Lena, Lena's skill, plus 5,000 shield, 48k, 2 to pass. First check. Oh, come on, not a critical trigger. He gives all effects to his rear guard. And the second check. Double trigger, how can he be so lucky? Giving all power to his rear guard, and ka-chink! Safe! Now 40k from that side. Do I have enough in my hand to guard it? I guard with Alana, Asher, and Wheel Assault. Guard, 43k, just enough. And blocked. Ka-chink! That's the end of my opponent's turn. My turn. Stand and draw. Oh, come on. For real? My over trigger? Why do all my triggers leave the deck like this? Skipping the ride phase, going to main phase. I move Tidal Assault to front, activating the order card, Storm of Judgment. Judgment skill, Superior Call a Aqua Force or Tear Dragon from the drop zone. I am calling EO to the back row, call, and then giving power to Tidal Assault. Then I call Inlet Pulse Dragon. No, wait. I am going to activate Maelstrom skill, Inlet Pulse, discard it, and Superior Call a Tear Dragon or an Aqua Force from the soul. I call Inlet Pulse, call, inheriting a skill. The skill is, hold on, the skill is after the first attack, it can restand, so alrighty, let's get started. Going to the battle phase. My Inlet Pulse unboosted attacks the... Let's see, the skill is activated when he attacks the... Oh, it can attack anything as long as it's the first battle of the turn, so I am attacking the rear guard. Selfish Engraver, 13k to 10k. Skill of Inlet Pulse, Counterblast 1, Counterblast, and restand. The attack goes through. Bang, bang, bang. One less rear guard to worry about. And now, my Tidal Assault attacks the... it can attack anything as well. Unboosted, attacking the rear guard Spartan. Skill of Tidal Assault, Soul Blast 1. Soul Blast. And 5,000 power to Vanguard. The attack goes through. Slash, one less rear guard to worry about. After attacking, Tidal Assault skill, Counterblast 1, and restand for another attack. Next, boosted by my prize Trident, Inlet Pulse attacks the Vanguard, 21k. He guards by draw trigger, 23k, just barely enough. Now boosted by Wheel Assault, my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard, 26k. This is the 4th attack or higher in this battle, so Titles, my Maelstrom skill, nothing to retire, but I can draw a card. Yes, Persona Ride, Twin Drive, first check. No trigger. And second check, come on, something good. No triggers for real. 1 damage. Boom. Damage check. Oh, come on, critical, seriously? Why do all my triggers leave me while my opponent keeps getting triggers? That's so unlucky. Not activating skill, and now boosted by Tio, my Tidal Assault attacks the Vanguard, 28k. Activating Prize Trident skill into Soul. Countercharge 1. Countercharge. Not activating skill Tidal Assault. He guards with a draw trigger, 28k, just barely enough. So lucky of all the triggers. End of the battle, I am activating my Inlet Pulse's skill. It goes to the soul, and I draw a card. Draw! Oh, come on! A heal trigger? Why are all my triggers leaving me like this? And that's the end of my turn, my opponent's turn. He calls Engraver and a Curtis. Come on! He soul charges more and... Skill of Curtis, attacking Vanguard, no guard. Ka-chink! Ow! Damage! No! Attacking rear guard. No guard. Sorry about that Tidal Assault. Since his Bear Madness can now send all of my rear guards to the soul. He soul charges a perfect guard, and now here comes the Vanguard. Skill of Bear Madness, he pays a cost to draw a card, add power and critical to Vanguard, and send all of our rear guards to the soul, and he calls 2 in their place. So lucky of him. I guard with Alchemic Hedgehog. Alchemic Hedgehog skill, plus 15,000 shield, 38k, 2 to pass. Here comes, first check. No trigger, safe, come on, second check, nothing. No trigger, safe. Ka-chink! And now here comes Engraver. 20k. No guard, gonna take it. Damage check. Draw trigger. Power to Vanguard. Finally, a trigger comes. Draw and power up. Engraver skill. He soul charges and counter charges, but cannot counter charge. Then 28k from this guy. I am guarding with Prize Trident. Hold on. Nope. Guarding with Tidal Assault and Algos. Guard 33k. Just barely enough. And ka-chink. Safe. End of my opponent's turn, my turn. Stand and draw. I Persona Ride Blue Storm Dragon Maelstrom. Here we go. Persona Ride Blue Storm Dragon Maelstrom. Draw, power up. Oh, come on, a critical. Then I activate Maelstrom skill. Discard a card from hand. Discarding a critical, superior call a Aqua Force or a Tear Dragon from the soul. I call Inlet Pulse Dragon. Get a skill. Then I'm calling Tidal Assault. And calling to the back row 2 Prize Tridents. Call. To the battle phase. First, Inlet Pulse, unboosted, attacks the Vanguard, 23k. Skill Inlet Pulse, inherited from Maelstrom, counterblast 1 and restand. He guards with a critical trigger, the attack fails. And next up, my Tidal Assault, unboosted, attacks the Vanguard. Tidal Assault skill, Soul Blast 1. I Soul Blast Maelstrom, Soul Blast, and give 5,000 power to the Vanguard. The attack goes through, and slash! 1 damage. Damage check. Yes, no trigger, safe. Skill of Tidal Assault, it restands. Counterblast 1, stand back up. That was the, let's see, the first, second, and now here comes the third attack of the turn, boosted by Prize Trident. Tidal Assault attacks the Vanguard. And then Tidal Assault skill, Soul Blasting again, Soul Blast, Prize Trident, and 5,000 power to Vanguard. 28k to Vanguard. He perfect guards, and discarding for the perfect guard cost a Clumsy Assistant. The attack fails. I still got 2 more attacks on the way. Next, here comes Maelstrom to the Vanguard. The 4th attack or more of this turn, Maelstrom skill. Retire a rear guard. Retiring Selfish Engraver. 33k to Vanguard. Keep over trigger guards. 63k. Twin Drive, first check. Yes, draw trigger. I draw a card. Oh, come on, not another critical. Why do I keep drawing my triggers like this? Giving powered Inlet Pulse. And second check. No trigger. The attack fails, but I still got 1 more attack on the way, boosted by Prize Trident. My Inlet Pulse Dragon attacks the Vanguard, 41k. Prize Trident skill on the left side, into Soul and counter charge. Not activating the second one skill. The attack goes through, and bang bang bang, 1 damage. Damage check. Critical trigger, 6 damage, cannot heal. Okay, then trigger effect wasted. The battle is over. Man, that was tough. Despite some really bad luck, the triggers, and some really good luck from my opponent's side, I managed to more or less get to use the cards in this deck pretty well and managed to eke out a win. So I got win, attack 40,000 more power, attack 5 or more times in 1 turn, perfect guard, did a Persona Ride, 8 turns passed, did a superior call, retired 5 more opposing units, and drew 3 more times in 1 turn. I got 2350 VP, total 267,875 VP. Pressing A to go next, leaving the fight, returning to the fight menu. Back at the fight menu, leaving fight menu, going back to main menu, and in the main menu, going to edit deck menu. With that, the deck has been built, card effects explained, and I just finished testing the deck out in front of you. So first I want to say is, thank you to the viewers for watching today's video, and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload again in the near future. I also hope you'll show support by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my videos and channel. And with that I say, goodbye, and see you all.